Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome back to another match reaction and player ratings after another defeat. This time round, Aston Villa beating us 1-0 at Villa Park. By the way, in 22 years, that is the second time they've beaten us at Villa Park. And both of them have been in the space of 7 months. To even increase the pain, that's the fourth time they're beating us in the last 5 months. 3 times in the league and once in a friendly match. In those 3 matches in the league, we haven't scored a goal. To even add to the pain, Martinez has kept 2 clean sheets against us. We haven't scored against him at all. To add to the pain, Tien is nowhere to be found. Cedric is making mistakes. That is just the introduction. WSL, how are you?
Not good.
Clean answer. How are you, HJ?
Said it earlier, saw it coming. It's just not good enough. Manager's not good enough. Some of those players are not good enough. Same old Arsenal.
Pain. And Matt Robinson, first time on the channel. How are you?
It's the same old, isn't it? You know, there's only so much that you actually want to take of this. You know, it's like it's the results like this now you see coming time after time. You know, it's an early kickoff at Villa Park. You're going into it as a fan with almost no confidence. You know, there's some positives to take from the game, you know, if you want to try and be optimistic. But then again, as I said before, you know, you don't want that optimism to, you know, turn into delusion in any form of way. But it's, you know, this is where we are now. You know, it's kind of, you don't want to accept it, but this is the level we're playing at. This is how things are. And it is disappointing. It goes without saying, but as I said, there's no element of being surprised because these results have been happening now. This is, I think, the first time Villa have done the double over us in the league in over 20 years. And I mean, you know, if you want to look at it as, you know, like you said just then quickly in the intro, you know, there's almost a way to look at this as, you know, I know it means nothing what I'm about to say, but Emi Martinez left Arsenal in summer. You know, we've got in Renarsson. It didn't really work out straight away. And, you know, his confidence is low and his performances when we've seen him play, he's not been great. Matt Ryan's then come in on loan this January transfer window. And, you know, he's conceded a goal before he's even touched the ball. Don't get me wrong, Matt Ryan had a good game. And I'm not, you know, going to sit here and, you know, dig at him in any form of way because, you know, at times he did keep us in it. He made some great saves. But I think, you know, it's kind of just the classic Arsenal thing, you know, that there's some ways that we take steps forward, but then we just shoot ourselves in the foot and take more steps backwards. You know, so I think it's kind of, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think our season now, let's be real, it's almost like the same conversation that we've had for, the last 2 or 3 years now. You know, it's Europa League, win the Europa League or no Champions League football again. You know, this season in the league has been shocking. You know, you look at the results, we are playing, our form is on the level as a mid-table team, and the table speaks for itself. You know, we can't be looking at that league table and thinking, oh, we don't deserve to be there. Okay, yeah, we're Arsenal Football Club. You know, the history is massive. The club is huge. But mate, if the performances don't start pulling, this is the level that we're going to see ourselves at, and things have to change. But what is that change? You know, we've debated about so much change over the last couple of years. Managers, that's changed. Still the same, if not worse. Owners, you know, okay, we all moan about them and then a bit of money's put in or whatever. And, you know, there's a bit of glimmer of hope and then it doesn't always work out. You know, players, we need to change that. These, you know, average players are on really high wages. Okay, well, Ozil's gone now. That's 350 gone. Mustafi's gone. That's a nice high wage off the bill. You know, we're getting rid of, we're doing the right things, but then we just almost take a step back and shoot ourselves in the foot and do ourselves dirty. You know, by going away to Villa Park and conceding in the first minute and like 17th second. You know, you have to be going into these games switched on. It's all well and good having these, you know, it's all well and good having these, you know, defensive records that are Mikel Arteta's defense is, you know, on level with Guardiola's or whatever right now in terms of not conceding goals. Yeah, that's all well and good, but our front three doesn't do anything. The movement is not there. You know, one thing I don't really want to lose my head about it, but Willian, when he came on today, that man, right?
Save it. We'll get to Willian. If you start talking about Willian,
you know,
we'll be here on the intro forever.
Yeah. See, Willian is just man. I'm done with that.
Matt
This
is
is where we
already
are
on.
now.
Matt is
to
already on
sum up.
full. Matt is already on full flow. Didn't want to cut him out. But if you're watching this on replay, I'll have the timestamp from the player ratings in the comment section. So we'll start with the match reaction first. WSL starting lineup. Were you happy with the starting lineup?
No, I'm going to be honest. No, I think obviously a lot of it is the same as last time against Wolves, which obviously the team played really well in the first half. But I'm sorry, Smith Rowe keeps getting game time, and I'm getting sick of it. I love Smith Rowe as a footballer, but he needs to rest. The kid has gone from championship level at Huddersfield to Premier League like every single game. He needs to learn the fitness of the Premier League, and I'm beginning to see it. And a lot of fans are seeing that he's beginning to get a bit more tired. And he plays another 90 minutes today against Aston Villa. It's pathetic. I think Ødegaard, we've brought him in on loan. Just play him. Like, if he gets injured, who cares? Like, he's not our footballer. He's on loan. Just play the guy. Let him get some game time. And I think him not playing was annoying. I'm happy that Pepe still played, and I'm happy that Aubameyang didn't get in the team straight away, because I think Aubameyang didn't deserve to get in the team. But yeah, I want to know what's going on with Kieran Tierney, because he's been in training all week. There's been all these nice little photos of him, all this and that. So where is he? Where's Tierney gone?
Absolutely no idea. HJ, are you happy with the lineup? And guess what? Joe Willock has just scored for Newcastle. I told you guys
No, he
he's going to
hasn't.
add to the page.
No, he hasn't.
Has he actually?
He actually
No, he
scored.
hasn't.
Joe Willock has just scored for Newcastle. I'm looking at it
No
right
way.
now, and he's loving it. More pain. But yeah, tell me, what did you think about
my God.
HJ? What did you?
I've just got.
HJ,
I've got. Yeah. Glenn, I've got
what
two
did you make
stats
of
for
the
you.
lineup?
Arteta
go
is
ahead.
the first manager to lose his first 3 games to Villa since 1920, 101 years ago. He is also, this is the first time Villa have done a double over us since 1993. He's breaking records all over the park, Arteta. And what can you say? Lineup, Ryan, I thought it might have been a risk because I don't know if he's fully fit. And the rest of the lineup, I kind of expected it. Maybe Ødegaard to start. And yeah, it's confirmed Joseph Willock did score.
Yes, as well. Oh my God.
Just had to happen. But yeah, expected lineup, to be honest.
Yeah. And then Matt, lineup, any surprises?
To be honest, I was pleased to see Matt Ryan started, because I was so nervous that there was talk of Renarson playing. We've seen the mistakes he's made in an Arsenal shirt in his early days. Hopefully confidence can build, and he can almost get through the pressure of that. But Matt Ryan, it's good to see him make an Arsenal debut and having a, I guess, half decent backup for Leno, a Premier League proven goalkeeper. Bellerin, he was always going to play. Didn't play great, but is what it is. Holding, he's kind of he's almost like building himself into this side right now as maybe one of the most important players, which I know is mad to say that, Rob Holding is becoming that. And I don't want to sit here and sound deluded in any form of way, but he's playing with this body language now that, he could well and truly have the armband in a couple of years' time, potentially. He's got that sort of leadership qualities about him, signing the long-term deal definitely suggests he could be here for a while. And he could be, if you want to look going forward in a form of way with a bit of, optimism, then Rob Holding's probably going to be someone who's going to be in this side for a few more years. Gabriel, I think there's a bit of work needed here and there with him. I think it's still him getting used to the league and all of this. And, he's not really had many minutes recently, so a bit rusty. Cedric covering at the left, he was never going to have an outstanding game, goes without saying, because, obviously Tierney's right now, and we know how crucial Tierney is to this Arsenal side. Midfield of Xhaka and Partey, happy with that. It's been playing half decent over the last couple of weeks. And then, I wasn't expecting Aubameyang to start in that sort of attacking front three. It kind of is what it is. And like you say, mate, Smith Rowe needs a bit of rest, because, at this rate, we are going to run him into the ground. It's great to see him playing well, don't get me wrong. I admire Smith Rowe. I think he's a great player. At the end of the day, he's a young player who's got a lot to learn. And if you have them, if you have these young players in the starting 11 every single game, eventually there's going to not be problems from that. But you don't want to have a player have a really good season and then not be able to follow that up the next season, because how Arsenal fans are towards that. We've seen that happen before. So I think, there needs to be man management, needs to be on point. And I think with Odegaard in on loan, that's going to help out with that development process of Emile Smith-Rowe. But, starting 11 is is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. HJWSL said they didn't want Aubameyang to start. Same for you?
Yeah, in a sense, I didn't want Aubameyang to start for Lacazette has been playing well over the last few weeks. Today, he looked poor. He didn't, again, as Ray just said earlier, no cutting edge from this team, from any of our players. And again, just shows when the confidence was down in that Wolves game, none of these players could pick themselves up, And this manager doesn't have the experience. And I'll keep referring back to the manager because he controls these players and he's not able to pick up the confidence of these players. And when they don't have it, they'll put out performances like that. And we just looked all over the place on Smith-Rowe. I wanted Odegaard to start. I thought he looked exceptional when he came on. Some of the passes he was putting through, he was the one player in that team when he come on. He tried taking the game by the throat of its neck and tried doing something, tried creating something. He brought Smith-Rowe into the game as well. And maybe they can play together, who knows? But I thought Odegaard had to start today. Smith-Rowe, as Matt said earlier, he's running into the ground, keep starting. He's still a young player, and this is the first time he's really had an impact starting in the Premier League for us. And if we keep rushing him and keep playing him so many games, it's going to affect him. And is there a recall option on Willock? Can we bring him back? No, is that not an option now? But yeah, it's disappointing.
Not good enough, as you always say. That's his level. So WSL, walk us through the first 2 minutes of that game.
Diabolical, absolutely diabolical. I'm sorry, it's not even the goal conceded itself. I could tell instantly the first minute of play that we were going to lose today. I think the Cedric pass, that for me is a droppable offence. You can't be doing that. If Tierney's back, I don't care how fit Tierney is, he gets back in that team for me. That's absolutely shocking. That's not. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, but he's a right back playing a left back." I don't care. That's a simple footballing mistake. It's a simple pass to Gabriel, but the initial back pass to Cedric was awful. Why are you passing backwards? Like we're not 3-0 up. It's 0-0. First minute of play.
Yeah.
Get the ball moving forward. Holding for that goal. I'm not letting him get away with that. I'm sorry. Watkins is one-on-one with you. You decide to turn your back to him, leave your legs open, and let him put the ball through your legs. Keep your legs closed and stand him up. And he didn't do that. I think Ryan should have been quicker as well. I think the deflection didn't help, but he was way too slow. You've got to be quicker than that. And yeah, a nice little stat is Ryan's only the 4th goalkeeper in Premier League history to concede within the first 2 minutes of his full debut. Arteta keeps breaking these records, man. And seriously, these records aren't anything to be proud of. Yet he sits there proud, acting happy.
That record wasn't broke by Arteta. It was broken by Cedric.
Well, at the end of the day, he's the manager. He picks the players. He's the one that does the training with them. And if they can't do simple passes today, and we're going to get into the passing later on, then I've got to blame you. We couldn't pass a simple ball. And again, Cedric, I don't know what he's doing. This is because we play around the back too much. This is because every time you play around the back, you're going to cause mistakes. And Dean Smith isn't an idiot manager. He's a very good manager. He's good at analysing other teams. He analysed us today. He saw that we're going to pass around the back. He told his players, especially Traore, make sure you're getting into players like Cedric, winning the ball off them. What did they do? They won the ball in the first 2 minutes and scored. So it's just diabolical.
Absolutely terrible. Matt, the first 2 minutes, Cedric, it was comical. It reminded me of the second goal Sheffield scored against Manchester United a couple of weeks ago, where there was so many chances for clearing the ball and they didn't. Gabriel would have hit the ball so far away, didn't. I think he had the second chance. Cedric had the second chance to clear the ball. There was no pressure on him to take the ball behind. What did you make of that poor pass?
I think
A Kolasinac moment.
Yeah, it kind of gave me a flashback to when we conceded against Southampton in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
and the goal was kind of
same side.
Player gets on the end of it, takes a little deflection, takes it past the keeper. You go 1-0 down. Just this time, as you said, comical. Within the space of what it was in the first minute and 17th second. You have to be switched on, man. It's at the end of the day, Villa are going to be up for this game. They've just lost midweek to West Ham. you know, at home. I know during the week we lost to Wolves. There's two sides going into it. Defeats in midweek. You're going to be going into it. You've got to be up for it. And you don't really see that from Arsenal. It's almost like this. It's the same sort of mentality state that it's that same barrier that we still have to jump over. You know, that has been, you know, it's been there for a couple of years now, and it's just disappointing, man. And it is comical. But as I said earlier, do I expect anything more? Not really. This is the comical shit that we've got to put up with now, isn't it? So
and it's not, and history is not just that. In the first 10 minutes, Cedric gave away another 2 passes.
Yeah, he did.
Even during the game as well, man. You saw Bellerin doing it as well, and it's just at the end of the day, mate. If you're not playing to your best possible ability, mate, you're not going to get results.
He reminded me of Kolasinac, Cedric, in that game. Just exactly everything about him just reminded me of Kolasinac in that game. Just the way he just gives away the ball. It just shows why we sold Kolasinac. And come on, that is inexcusable.
We haven't sold him. He's only on loan.
He's gonna be back for next season.
Oh my god! Yeah, WSO, you didn't have to remind me.
Absolutely terrible.
God. Cedric, come on. I don't even put the blame on Gabriel either, because he just left him hung out to dry, Cedric, because Gabriel did not expect that whatsoever. Holding couldn't have done much either. Ryan couldn't have done anything either. It was just he didn't saw it coming. So it was just really bad from Cedric, and that cost us the game essentially. If it hadn't been for, you know, Ryan's brilliant saves, you know, we were in the game still and could make the most of it.
Yeah, but Matt, even with that, after the first 10 minutes, you still have a chance of coming back to the game. It's 80 minutes to go.
Okay, yeah, there's 80 minutes to play, but at the end of the day, you can't. You know, it's almost take it up until halftime, see where things are at there, and then you should come out and things should look different. Okay, yeah, there was a few moments where, you know, we looked a bit more lively going forward, and, you know, things looked like they were starting to tick a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if you're not up to standards and you're not playing with the right mentality, then it's not going to work for you. You know, and I think that's one of Arsenal's biggest problems. You know, it's almost, how many times have you seen in the last, let's say, 3 years, right? You can see the goal away from home, and then these players just curl up and disappear. Players like Cedric, right, playing with Gabriel next to him. Gabriel is a player who's still adapting to this league. He's still a youngster, right? Yeah. Players like Cedric, who have got experience at this top level, at playing Premier League football, should not be putting in performances like that and setting that as an example to your 2 younger defenders that are playing next to you, right? Okay, Rob Holding's got more experience, but Gabriel in particular, right? He's rusty as it is anyway. So if you've got, say, going into that game, Gabriel was probably viewing it as, okay, he's got Cedric to cover him. That's an experienced player right there. You know, you can learn from that as well. But if you're putting in performances how Cedric did today, then obviously the light is going to look also bad on Gabriel. You know, and it's just all little things like this, man, that over time we're just having enough of it now. And like I said, it is what it is. You know, I'm not even going to sit here and be mad about it, because how many times have we seen this now? How many games have we lost this season? You know, it's embarrassing, man.
It's giving me the same vibes when you were doing your watch alongs at the end of lockdown last year when you lost to Brighton, to City. That kind of vibe of I don't care about this anymore.
It, like,
that's the same feeling.
That's it. It's even with the videos as well right now. Like, what am I meant to sit down and record? What am I meant to sit down and talk about? It's the same stuff, mate. Copy and paste all the videos from the last couple of years or so, talking about the same stuff, the same problems, the same
all the hashtags, all the same score lines, everything.
That's it, man. And it's literally, you know, you're going into this game against Villa, and you know you're gonna lose it. There's a feeling of, you know, okay, you know, you're sitting there, and it's almost like I'm not a betting man, right? But if I had 10 quid, or if I had a 5 or a 10 bet to put down on that game, how people do, but you're putting that down on Villa. You know, Arsenal, where something needs to change. I don't know. As I said, I don't know what the change is anymore.
The manager.
So much.
Yeah, the manager.
Starts as the manager.
But then if a new manager comes in, right? If a new manager comes in, how is a new manager going to get this group of players to play half decent?
You've been his group.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Bellerin, like Xhaka. Some of these confidence players that when it's going wrong, they don't pick themselves up. They always have to rely on someone else to pick it up for them. And that's the problem so many years at this club. Everyone's been saying, oh, Arteta's picked it up. Arsenal have turned a corner. We're still 10th. We've got 2 extra teams. If the teams behind us win their games in hand, we sit 13th. oh, but Arteta's turned it around.
Yeah, we're turning a corner. We're going the wrong way. That's where we're going. Like, we're
But
going
We're going,
backwards.
it's just all of this excuse. Blame the
We-
referees, blame
we-
VAR, blame everyone but the manager.
We went from
That's what the problem
complaining.
is.
We went from complaining at being third to being accepting being seventh. Like, it's
That's the
pathetic.
problem.
Third
It's
every
embarrassing. Mate, remember back in sort of like 2013 when fans would be walking to the Emirates and there's all these like T-shirts that being sold outside at all the stalls of top 4 is not a trophy, right? It's almost like I think
we complained at second place. We'd be kissing people's feet for second place right now. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, man.
the thing is,
So, go ahead.
like I understand, right? Okay, yeah, it's easy to view it as okay, the manager is not good enough, but I think Mikel Arteta is good enough, to put it straight. We've seen positive signs from him, right? When he first came in, his first game in charge was Bournemouth away, a 1-1 draw back in, I want to say it was Boxing Day 2019 on the 26th.
Yeah.
It was on the 28th, I think.
And then a few days after, I want to say it was on the 29th of December 2019, we then played Chelsea and we lost that game, right? But we didn't deserve to lose that game at all. Jorginho scored the winner, if I'm right. He should have been sent off. It was poor officiating, right? But things look good. Even Mesut Ozil had a good game that day. Things were looking good. We scored early on. I think it was Aubameyang who scored the goal early on in that game. And that things look positive, right? And we've had that in the early days of Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. There's been good signs. Then obviously a few days after that, we beat Manchester United at home. Things look good, right? Fast forward a few months. Okay, lockdown happens. Life wasn't normal. The season didn't really, go how anyone really wanted it to. There was poor results in there as well. Things looked bad. We've now had a transfer, and then we've won an FA Cup. We've won the Community Shield as well. And then we've had the transfer window where things were looking okay. It wasn't amazing, but there were still positive signs there. On deadline day, we then signed Thomas Partey, which is, that's still a great sign in Thomas Partey. You can see what he's going to add to this side, and you can see that why he's worth the money we paid for him. But then you've got other problems as well. You've got little problems. It's okay. Yeah, you can look at the manager and you can blame Mikel Arteta for why are you bringing on Willian? Why are you using players who are simply not good enough? Why? So some of the decisions going into the games and lineups as well. It is embarrassing, and from a fan, it leaves you nothing but disappointed, right? But how is another manager going to come into this side and turn things around? What's the formula going to be to take this club forward?
Have a style of play.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get into this in the player ratings. So I think let's just move on and get back into it.
So HJ did say about blaming the refs. So WSL, speaking about blaming the refs, what did you make of that decision?
Blaming the refs, it's pathetic. The Wolves game, I understand it. I don't blame the referees unless genuinely it changes a game. And the Wolves game, it did. That was just stupidity from the referee, and it obviously changed the game. How does this change the game in any way? How is that, for me, isn't even a red card for a starter. Last man doesn't exist in football. That's not a rule. The rule is it a goal scoring opportunity? Yes or no? And then the second part of that is, did the player attempt to win the ball? If not, then it's a red card. First off, Saka, he's not really on a goal scoring opportunity because he could have easily been caught by the defenders.
40 yards out.
Exactly. Yes, it's a yellow card. Yes, it's a foul, but it's not a red card. I'm sorry, it isn't. The one that I would question, if anything, is the Martinez and the Lacazette one, where Martinez pulled Lacazette down. You can still then argue that Martinez can do that because Lacazette can't touch him, and Lacazette may have been touching him. But it's not a red card. The referee today actually will say he was decent. I think the Aston Villa players their defence was immense. That's probably one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen of a Premier League team this season. Their defence was so good. They took yellow cards. Someone said it on Twitter. He said that Aston Villa are rotating roles for who's going to foul Saka so they don't get sent off. And it worked perfectly. They bossed Saka. He was invisible today, and they only picked up 2 yellow cards. It's perfect defending. It's Dean Smith written all over it. It's tactical analysis and being able to stop the best players of another team and still defending perfectly. Matty Cash, oh my God, if we could have him with a Bellerin, mate, I'm driving Bellerin to Aston Villa. Seriously, Matty Cash was immense today. But No, it's not a red card, and it's not the referee's fault in any way, shape, or form.
Matt, is it a red card?
Nah, man. I think, Saka at the end of the day, just look how far out he is, And I think let's face it, with the way things have been going and how red cards have been given out over the last couple of days or so, let's face it was never going to be a red card. They were never going to go down to 10 men based off of that challenge. As you said, maybe question the one Martinez and Lacazette. But yeah, man, I think if that's got to be a red card, there's got to be so much more in it. So much more. But it's based off of that, it's not red.
So HJ, probably a lot of people know it's not a red, but the thing that is frustrating people is they're saying if it was Arsenal, it would be a red.
Oh, come on. It's just Arsenal. It's always Arsenal fans that think everyone has a conspiracy against them. Let me give you another stat. In the last 60 games, we've only been cost once by VAR. We've only been cost once in the last 60 games. Come on. And Arsenal fans seem to just use VAR and referee as an excuse to let off this manager who is incompetent and cannot get this team going consistently, because everyone thinks, we've turned a corner, but we've not, because it's 2 defeats to 2 teams we need to be beating if we want to be champions.
So let's go back to the decision first. If it was Luis, would it be a yellow card or a red?
I can't tell you that. I really can't.
I don't think it matters, because I think if that was if that was the other way around, the Villa player's going on and scoring that goal. He's getting past the defender, because our defense is that bad and their players were that good. We wouldn't have been in that situation anyway, because Villa would have just gone and scored. So I don't really think it makes a difference.
Okay, then Matt, after a couple of minutes, Xhaka takes a very good free kick. Good trial. Should he be in on all our free kicks?
I think we've seen from Xhaka's free kicks, there can be an end result. For example, he scored a cracker against Chelsea. It's been it's been apparent in Xhaka's time at Arsenal. He can strike a ball. And maybe use that asset. From playing of set pieces, Xhaka can find the back of the net, but obviously that also needs to be consistent. Is Xhaka going to be your free kick taker? If so, okay, give him a bag of 50 footballs when training's finished. Go put the extra hours in. Get one of the goalkeepers out there. Get practicing your free kicks for a bit as well. Yeah. But it's sometimes it might be David Luiz over the ball. Sometimes it might be Xhaka over the ball. Sometimes it's Pepe. Sometimes it can be Aubameyang as well. There needs to almost be this structure. Something to hold on to, a base plan that you can hold on. This there, your backbone. That's what you need. So I think it's even little things like that. If players know what their role is and know exactly what they've got to do, then things could work out a little bit better. But
sometimes it could be Lacazette, sometimes it could be Cedric, sometimes it could be Willian. Don't forget that sometimes it really could be Willian. So who's our best free kick taker right now, WSL?
I don't really think it matters. I think that I'm going to keep saying this every single week until it happens. The set piece coach needs sacking immediately. Every single week, our set pieces get worse and worse. What is it with this dummying on the free kick? Every single free kick today, except the Xhaka one, we dummied. Aston Villa, there was one in the second half where Saka and I think it was Cedric was standing over the ball. First half, sorry. Saka did the dummy. The Aston Villa players didn't even move. They knew exactly what was going to happen. It's so predictable. It doesn't work. And all it does is it takes one of our best players in attack, in Saka, out of the attack for that free kick. Also, the corners, I'm going to keep saying it. How does we bunch up with their goalkeeper and expect to score a corner? That's not how you score a corner. There was one corner where we booted it straight into the player in front of us. There was a free kick where Traore, yes, it was a foul because he ran too far forward, but you still couldn't even get it over the top of him. It's pathetic. Our free kick takers are not good enough. The set piece coach is not good enough. And our set pieces as a whole aren't good enough because we can't defend set pieces either. The Xhaka free kick, excellent. It was going to hit the bar. Wasn't going to go in. So I don't really care. I don't think it was good enough. Xhaka, yes, he can offer a free kick goal every 8 months, which isn't good enough. Consistency-wise, not good enough. Why is Pepe not on free kicks? He scored 2 against Victoria last season, and they were excellent free kicks. He doesn't take any more free kicks. He doesn't take
but then again,
either.
all those players have scored free kicks the last 2 years.
No, but the thing is, Xhaka's inconsistent with it. He does it once every 8 months. Pepe will score more. and he'll score more consistently if he actually gets the chance. We don't have any good free kick takers. That's the end of it. And our set piece coach is so stupid, he can't even see that because he's still giving Willian corners and free kicks. Willian, it's pathetic. But yeah, I want the set piece coach sacked. End of story. I don't like him. He doesn't do anything helpful. And we got worse. We scored less goals and set pieces this season than last season. Like,
Yeah.
We got a new set piece coach. How does that work? How do you downgrade by getting someone new?
Well, HJ, a Traore chance comes up. What do you think when you see this kind of defending, Holding and Gabriel pointing? Just explain to me that. Well, what are they pointing at?
No, I know what they're pointing at. It just proves my point with Holding again when he comes up against tricky players like Barkley, like your Grealishes, like your Pedros, like your Podences. He just cannot deal with them. He just doesn't know what to do. I think that's the reason why Holding is never going to be a top centre back, because he just doesn't know how to deal with some of these players. And again, Aston Villa at times, we just allowed them to just drive at us with ease, give them so many space to players that we know are so dangerous, like Barkley has been this season, like Grealish has been. But still, we cannot deal with them. And again, I'm pretty sure it was the same, these two, Rob Holding and Gabriel, that played in that 3-0 loss as well. They haven't learned. That's my problem here. Neither of them have learned. And that's what can you do, to be honest? It's just the same old.
Yeah, Matt, Traore, we were lucky that he tried to be cheeky. Should he have scored that? Definitely.
To be honest, mate, I think, we just have to be, we have to sit here and just be grateful that, it was only 1-0. They had chances. The Traore chance, there was.
It was going wide, I think. It was going wide.
It was going wide, yeah.
But it was a good save from Ryan, though.
Yeah.
And, sort of the chances they had in the game, Ryan did well to keep us in it at times, to be fair to him. He made some good saves. But I think, it's just, you pull up that photo then of the defending, like Holding pointing and Gabriel pointing. It's like, we all have basic understanding of sort
I'm
of.
pretty sure that's not even their side. I'm sure Gabriel should be on the left side and Holding on the right
side.
Like, what are they pointing at? Like, you know what I mean? You know what it gives me bad memories of, right? It's almost like the bad memories of, when Skodran Mustafi was playing and he was making mistakes and he would point at everyone.
Reminds us of Mustafi and Kashoni. Mustafi and Kashoni. That's what my
pointing and waving your arms. Bellerin does it as well, It's just sit there and take a bit of blame for yourself. Everyone but yourself. It's just it's embarrassing, man. And it just kind of shows that
Holding's
do these players actually know what their role is and what they're meant to be doing?
I always say if Arsenal keep 100 clean sheets in a row, I still wouldn't trust them in the 101st game. The likes of Holding, I still wouldn't trust them even if they kept 100 clean sheets in a row. They have that in them. So halftime WSL, did you want any sub?
Yeah, but I didn't expect it. I'm getting to the point now where Arteta's just so predictable. I'm predicting him. Like, I'm not a tactical manager, I'm not this guy that's getting paid millions of pounds a year to manage a football club like Dean Smith is, like John Terry is. If I can predict what Arteta's doing, why can't they? And it's exactly what they did today. They knew that he wasn't going to bring any substitutions on. They knew it. Yeah. That's why they didn't. Otherwise, they would have mirrored it and brought somebody on. The only substitute he's made in the 45th minute this season was Willian for Gabriel Martinelli. Willian. That's it. Really? Is that the only substitute that we can make? I wanted Ødegaard on. I wanted Smith Rowe off because he wasn't playing well enough. I wanted I can't even remember who it is now because I've kind of just forgotten. But I definitely Ødegaard was the main one for me. And I'm trying to remember it. I wanted Callum Chambers on instead of Bellerin because Bellerin was just shocking. I wanted anybody else but Bellerin on. And Callum Chambers was there to come on the pitch. Because Callum Chambers is not a good enough footballer for Arsenal Football Club. But whenever he's played at right back, centre defensive mid, centre back, wherever he is, he plays decent. And he was going to play better than Bellerin or Cedric today. So either him or Ødegaard. But again, I didn't expect any substitutions. And what do I get for,
I don't agree that Bellerin part will come to it in the player ratings. HJ, any subs you'd have made at halftime?
Yes, agreed with this. I would have brought on Ødegaard for Smith Rowe. I would have also brought off Pepe. Didn't look at the paces today. I would have brought on Martinelli as well. I don't understand why Willian came on either. I put in some stats with Willian in earlier. It just shows how dreadful he is. Why are you not bringing on Martinelli? Come on, why not? Just these decisions just baffle me. What do you see in Willian that you're not seeing in Martinelli? Like, just
Experience.
It's because Martinelli's another Emery signing. He doesn't like any of Emery's signings other than Leno. So that's it.
What can you do?
Okay, so Matt, did you ever feel in that second half we would get a goal? Was there any time you felt like we'd get a goal?
Nah, man. The second we went 1-0 down, I was like, okay, yeah, fair. This game's done. You know, it was more, you know, it was more this sort of fear of when are Villa going to score their second. You know, there was a couple of Arsenal moments where going forward you thought, okay, this looks good, and then the cutting edge just wasn't quite there, as always. The final third we've been lacking. You know, it's evident. Okay, yeah, there's some nice stats coming out. You know, since Saka and Pepe have swapped wings, you know, the return in terms of goals and assists has been quite nice. You know, Pepe started to maybe pull his weight a little bit as well, you know, in terms of getting on the score sheet a couple of times recently. But even today, there was no real moments where you look at it and think, okay, yeah, you know what? This is a big goal-scoring opportunity for Arsenal right now. It was almost like it was just lackluster. You know, you got to the final third and again, it's predictable. You know, the ball's going to go out wide and then we're going to try and beat the man and then we're going to try and get a cross in. And
those
even
crosses frustrate me.
Yeah,
in fact, there's a time Lacazette was so far from the box and we had the ball in such a good position. No one in the box. They have 6 defenders there and we still put a cross in. I'm like, what are you doing? So, go ahead.
That's it, man. And I think almost something to sum it up as well is, you know, your attack is playing poor when you've got Rob Holding, you know, on the edge of the box doing step overs, trying to beat his man, trying to create a chance. You know,
it's all these
little things, right?
I can't wait for you guys. Player ratings.
Oh,
WSL, last question for you, WSL, before we get into the player ratings. How can you be so good in 45 minutes against Wolves and then terrible for 90 against Aston Villa?
I think you saw my tweet, didn't you? Yeah, I'll tell you why. Mikel Arteta. That's my 2 words. I'll get into why when we get to his player into the manager rating, but Mikel Arteta.
Okay, so let's get into the player ratings. Thank goodness Arteta is the last one in this player ratings. Otherwise, WSL would get so much so early on in the video. So I'll start with this since it's your first time, Matt. By the way, this is not the first time I'm working with Matt. We've worked before. So Ryan.
You know what, Matt Ryan, I think at times, okay, yeah, he conceded a goal, classic Arsenal thing, conceded a goal on his Arsenal debut in the space of about a minute and a half. He's conceded a goal before he's even touched the ball. Okay, it's an Arsenal thing. But other than that, he did keep us in the game. You know, he made a few important saves, you know, to keep that scoreline at only 1-0. You know, but I'm not going to sit there and give someone a really high rating when at the end of the day, you know, we've lost the game, you know. I'd call it a 6. You know, call it 6.
I'll go after you because I'd actually give him an 8. I thought if it wasn't for him, he was our best player today, man of the match. If it wasn't for him, his first start for Arsenal, we were wondering when he was ever going to get a chance. He's quite lucky that Leno got the red card, but now the decision comes. Next time, do you bring back Leno, WSL?
Yeah, I'm not seeing this Matt Ryan stuff. He was good today, but come on, man, seriously. Like he was dropped by Brighton football. This is Arsenal football. Are we really going to use Brighton scraps instead of Bernd Leno? No. Leno he got nominated for. Bernd Leno was the best goalkeeper last month because he was the only goalkeeper nominated for Player of the Month. So all these fans that David De Gea is better, Lloris is better. Why weren't they nominated then? Huh? Oh, he had one stupid red card. Well, I don't really care. Like, he's still better than all your goalkeepers. So, you know, I don't really care. But Matt Ryan can get a 7 from me. I'll go down the middle. Reason why? I still think he should have done better on that first goal. I'm not saying he should have saved it, but he was far away from that ball. Yes, it rebounded, but I think even if it didn't deflect off of Holding, he still wouldn't have got to it. So, I think that was more of just a bit of a shock, like how the hell is he shooting this early, that kind of thing. It was like he didn't even know what was going on, and I don't really blame him for that. But yeah, like Matt said, he didn't even touch the ball, and he already conceded, so that's just unfortunate for him. But he made some great saves today. The Jack Grealish one in the second half, when we just let Grealish walk straight through, shoot on his left foot. What a save that was! But solid 7 for Ryan today. He's my man of the match for us anyway.
Okay, so HJ, we have a 6, a 7, and an 8. The one you go for is the one you're giving him. Which one did you go for?
I'm gonna go for an 8. I thought he was really good today. I had a few, problems with Ryan starting because I didn't know he was gonna be fully fit, but it was a risk I was willing to take because I think a 70% fit Ryan is probably better than 100% fit Renarson. It's kind of true, and Ryan with his Premier League experience really showed us today, and I thought he was really good today. Some of the saves were exceptional. If it wasn't for him, we could have easily gone down 4-5-0, to be honest. And it's good cover Ryan for the end of the season. Hopefully, we don't have to use him again because Leno, as WSL said, has been exceptional this season. Yes, he did an absolute madness in the Wolves game, but we know that about Leno, and Ryan was good. I'll give him an 8 today. Really good.
Actually, I agree that because as I told you guys last time, WSL, I still think we'd have lost even if we didn't do that. But the next one, I'll start with the WSL. Cedric.
1, awful. Cost us the game. The mistake. Again, someone put it on Twitter. They said, if we could just get rid of the individual mistakes, we could be a much better team. But we can't get rid of it. Our scouts look for individual mistakes, I swear. Mustafi, Xhaka, Kolasinac, Cedric, Bellerin. Like,
Socrates.
how do we not learn that we are buying these awful players that just like to make mistakes on consistent basis? Like, the consistency is in the wrong area. It's not consistently good. It's consistently shit. Sorry for the swear word, but I'm sorry. Cedric was absolutely awful. The pass, dreadful, cost us the game. The goal went in. Traore had him on ropes today. Cedric looked like a schoolboy. He was getting played with. How many times did he kick the ball out for a Villa throw-in in the first 10 minutes of play? Every time he got the ball, he kicked it away. It's as if the ball was on fire. Like he couldn't keep it for more than a second. There was a time when he tried to switch the ball and it went out of play. There was another one where he tried to boot the ball forward, went out of play. He was awful. His passing was dreadful. He gets a 1 for simply putting his shirt on the right way around. And that's it.
Matt, Cedric.
Same as, you can't be making those mistakes. I've just had a tweet notification come through that the top teams don't make those mistakes. The boss reflects on hashtag AVLARS, right? Okay.
Yeah.
To put it straight, like you say, he gets a point just for putting his shirt on the right way around. I think even that probably wasn't his biggest challenge of the day. Putting your boots on the right foot. And even that, it looked like he might have had his left boot on his fucking right foot at times, right? If I'm entirely honest with you, I think it's unacceptable. And it's cost. You're not worthy of a rating if you've cost us the game. The only thing he's done is turn up to make up the numbers today. 0. It's unacceptable.
Can I just quickly say one thing as well? Joe Willock's making his debut for Newcastle. He scored on the winning 3-1. We're losing 1-0.
I can see.
Amazing.
Yeah, Southampton are pretty terrible defensively recently. HJ, Cedric.
Again, cost us the game. What are you doing, mate? You're a professional footballer on over 100 grand a week and you can't pass the ball. Come on. At least get that right. And it doesn't matter if he's a right back. That's not an excuse. You should be passing the ball and not just tapping it. Like, come on. It's just disappointing how we're doing these kind of things still. And we haven't learned from these mistakes over 4 or 5 years with some of these players we've had. And it's still carrying on. And for Cedric, I won't be as harsh, but only because he had 1 or 2 good moments, but I'll still give him a 1 because he cost us game, he cost us 3 points, and it's unacceptable.
Yet another play can't depend on the 4 games he's played. He was great, and then he was bad, and then he was good, and then it's terrible. So, which is that game? Yeah, WSL, which was that game? I don't know if you can remember where Niles put up that pass he was trying to give Len, and then it went out for a corner. He was playing at left back. There's a game that he did that at the Emirates Stadium. I don't know if you guys can remember it, but that brings me to Russ's point. I think it was one of those games where, I think the 0-0. So Russ says Cedric is not a left back. I'll tell you the same thing I said about Niles. It doesn't matter whether you're playing as a goalkeeper, as a striker, you're supposed to be able to make that pass. Your positioning, he was using his right foot. He did not use his left foot for that.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
That should be an easy pass. That should be an easy pass, whether you're playing as a left back, as a goalkeeper, whether you're blindfolded. The player is next to you. Gabriel's a left footer. You could even have given the ball to the goalkeeper. Such an easy pass to make, and he makes a mistake within 1 minute.
He could have just ran with it. Like he could have just kept the ball, ran with it. But
anywhere on the pitch.
It's his tendency to keep passing back and around the defense, and this is Arteta's fault. So
anyone
Another
the
thing
pitch
that
but
Arteta did
that.
wrong.
So yeah, I agree with the one. So Matt gave him a 0, but yeah, I HDL start with
It's
the
fair.
next one, Holding.
Rob Holding again. I spoke on him earlier. Some of these tricky players, he just doesn't know how to deal with them, and it showed again today. He gave too many spaces. I think with Gabriel, I just don't know. With Gabriel and Holding, they seem to make a lot of positional mistakes together. I just don't know what it is because the two of them individually have probably been our best centre backs this season, but together they just look calamitous at times, and I just don't know what it is with some of these players. It just baffles me. And for Holding today, disappointing because he has been one of our best centre backs this season. You expect him to step up, show a fight, try and lead the centre back from the line, especially when you have Bellerin messing around again. Keep going forward, leaving Grealish on his own. And you expect Holding to be better, and today is disappointing. I'll give him a 4.
4, Matt.
Rob Holding today, yeah, I'd agree. A 4 is probably about right. There was a few times, as I said earlier, he looked as if he's got this sort of like leadership quality in his game right now, where he's trying to be the vocalized player, to get players picking their heads up. But at the end of the day, the performance, it's all well and good doing that. It's all well and good having these qualities, but the performance wasn't quite there. You're part of a back line that's lost a game 1-0. You're being rated a 4.
Okay, WSL. I'm sorry it didn't cost 50 million, and I'm also sorry that he can't head the ball on target. Every single game he gets 3 chances to head the ball. Like literally every single game he gets a chance, and it always off target. So I'm sorry he can't score a goal too. So what would you give him?
2. Awful again. I'm sorry, I've said this for a long time. Rob Holding will never, ever, ever be good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. Not as a squad player, not as a starting player. He's absolutely awful. He does this every single season. He plays well for a good few games. The fans start praising him, think he's the next best thing since Cannavaro and Maldini, and then he performs like Mustafi again. It's not good enough. We might as well have kept Mustafi because he does the exact same thing. He makes mistakes. He doesn't play well enough. He doesn't win headers. He can't even score a simple tapping goal with his head. He can't even get it on target. It's pathetic. Again, it's not good enough. People are blinded by the fact that we have 2 good performances with Rob Holding in defence, and it's all great. It's not. Rob Holding is not a leader. He never will be. If he's trying to keep the players' heads up, he's not very good at it because every single player's head was down since the first minute when we conceded because he couldn't close his fucking legs. Like, I'm ranting about Rob Holding right now. He's getting me really angry, but it's more disappointment because he was really good this season. I'll give him his positives. He was really good this season, and he has been, but he still isn't good enough. And today proves it.
That's exactly what he's good.
You're playing against Jack Grealish, Ollie Watkins, and Traore, who are 2 of those aren't world stars like Jack Grealish is, but they're very good Premier League footballers, and he can't deal with them. How is he meant to deal with the likes of Aguero and Sterling in a few weeks? He's going to get destroyed. It's going to be a massacre. So it's upsetting, but I don't expect anything less from Holding. So 2, not good enough.
2. Matt, we'll start with you on the next one. Gabriel. I mean, are we saying that because they played West Ham the other day and I think they lost the previous game? Are we saying the likes of Ogbon are better than every single defender we have at Arsenal?
I think at this point there's a lot of centre backs and centre halves in the Premier League that would walk straight into this Arsenal side. I don't think it's necessarily down to the individual players because, as we've seen, when a player leaves Arsenal, 7 or 8 times out of 10 they go and get something out of their career. A lot of the time, it's not going to surprise me if Mustafi starts playing well. He's gone to Schalke, right? It won't surprise me if he plays well for them. Won't surprise me if Kolasinac starts playing well for them as well. There's all these players, and I think Holding is similar as well. If he went somewhere else, it's just simple man management that would improve it. And I think, with Gabriel, we've seen it his early days at Arsenal. There is a good defender in him. But, but through the management, you have to get the right things out of him,
Yeah.
I think today, sort of similar to Rob Holding, really. You're part of a back line that's lost the game 1-0. You didn't play great. You didn't have your worst game in an Arsenal shirt. So I think a 3 or a 4 is probably about right.
WSL, I think that's a bit harsh. He thought he was better than Holding, even though I do agree that since he got ill, he's been all over the place recently.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit rusty as well. Give him a bit of time, and you can't really sit there and slate them as such as like other players. But yeah, I'd say Gabriel at 3 or a 4. He's not played amazing. We're aware of why that is, but you're also part of a backline that's lost the game 1-0. Basic rating of 4.
WSL?
5 for me. I think I can't really understand. If anybody tries to say Gabriel was worse than Holding, you're wrong. And second off, like you just said, Matt, Gabriel has a reason. He's been ill. He's had COVID. We don't know the extent of how bad that was. What's Rob Holding got? Like, what's his excuse other than being a crap footballer? Like, there isn't one. I think Gabriel was better. Again, like you said, though, we lost the game. And I mean, I don't blame him for that first goal. He did not expect that pass to come back to him. He couldn't get in there in time. It wasn't his fault. He won a good few headers, which Rob Holding didn't do. I think Rob Holding's scared to head the ball because all his hair's going to fall off. Like, just get rid of it, man. It's falling off anyway. Like, it's not good enough, really. But Gabriel, he was better. I think he looked a lot better than when he played against Southampton. And I think as long as he can keep his performances up, I think he can play from now on. I see a lot of people, though, saying that we can't play 2 left-footed centre-backs. Why not? Why not play Gabriel and Marie if Holding's not going to keep performing well? Like, why can't you play two left-footed centre-backs? I don't get that. Like, it's been done before and it works. So, you
didn't have the 1 million.
Exactly. I mean, Marie's back now, isn't it? It's funny that as soon as it hits February, Marie's straight back he's on the bench. But yeah, I don't know. But for me, I'm playing Gabriel and Marie from now on. That performance from Holding is just not good enough. And like you said, I'm sorry, top 6 is finished. If you think we're going to get top 6 or even top 4, you're deluded. It ain't happening. I don't even think we'll be lucky to get top 8, if we're being totally honest. And like you said, if you want to get top 4, you've got to beat your teams like your Villas, your Wolves and your Crystal Palaces. We couldn't do that. So
5?
Every single player is accountable. But yeah, Gabriel gets a 5. He was all right. Better than Holding.
SJ Gabriel?
Gabriel, again, as Matt said, he has the potential to be a world-class centre-back. I still stand by that because his early form was so good. But then Matt said it goes down to man management and managing the defender. And when Gabriel is around absolute clowns like Bellerin, Holding, Xhaka, what else do you expect other than Gabriel to be doing similar things? I know he's been ill. He's struggling to get back into form, but I didn't think he looked that bad today. As bad as Holding, I agree with WSL. He looked better than Holding, definitely. And I'll give him a 5. And yeah, I'll put him in the side of Marie. I think that would be much more better for us. But again, the man management of Gabriel to bring him back and to get him defending well again next to Rob Holding, that's on the manager, and he's not doing it right. And again, as WSL said, I thought these Wolves. I said it after the Man United game, this Wolves game, this Aston Villa game. For our top 4 chances, even top 6 chances were going to be crucial. These 2 games are proved to me we're not getting it either.
Okay, so Gabriel giving him a what?
5.
5. Okay. I was hoping we wouldn't get into this stage or to this stage. WSL, it happens to fall on you. Bellerin.
1, end of. Awful again. Captain, really? Arteta, is he a captain? No. He sits there, does nothing, runs around like a daisy, like a fairy. He doesn't ever, like, Jack Grealish. I said this before the game. I said Jack Grealish will have Bellerin on ropes, and if we don't stop him by putting 2 people on Jack Grealish at all times, like West Ham did, we will lose the game. Jack Grealish was allowed to run straight through our whole defence once again, but this time he just couldn't do anything. We always had, like, Gabriel would always put a tackle in, or Ryan would make the save. But it's like Bellerin just did nothing again. I'm sick and tired of people trying to protect this guy. He's awful. He's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, and he never has been. He needs to be sold, and we need to bring someone new in. We need Max Aarons or just anybody else, really. I'd even take Matty Cash from Aston Villa today because he was better.
Cedric?
No.
Cedric on the right.
He's better than Bellerin. Yeah, if Tierney's putting Cedric on the right, but I know Arteta's not going to do that because Arteta loves Bellerin. Like, they're like soulmates. Like, he's made him captain. Yeah. Lacazette was vice captain last season under Unai Emery. Xhaka was main captain until he did something stupid, but he's still more of a leader than Hector Bellerin. Yet Bellerin still gets captain. He's not good enough. He never will be. He gets a 1 because he and Cedric were both awful today.
Okay, so HJ, I saw you. There was a show yesterday, so you're saying he will be ripped apart by Grealish. I didn't think he was ripped apart the way you were expecting him to be ripped apart.
But he was, because Grealish had him on ropes, and he got past him a lot of times because Bellerin got caught too far up the field. At times, he was playing central attacking midfield, and every time he got the ball, he did the same thing: played it to the right, played it to the right, played it to the right, and they sussed him out. And the defenders, who was on the left target, he did really well today to suss Saka out on the right hand side, and that's why I think he got switched to left back. But Bellerin, he ain't good enough, and he can't defend. He ain't a captain. When now Özil's gone, he's the PR merchant at our football club now, trying to be all like playing the victim card. Oh, let's do a documentary because I'm the only person in this world. I'm the only person in this entire world to have an ACL injury. So let's make a documentary so the fans can suck up to me. I can see through this. And what can you say about Bellerin for today? He didn't get as ripped apart as I thought he would, like he did in that 3-0 loss earlier in the season. But still, it's inexcusable. I'll give him a 3 for today.
A 3. Matt Robinson, HJ said target. He mentioned target in his rating. So at least he did have a shot on target. Best chance of scoring, by the way. What?
Yeah, it's left-footed strike, wasn't it? Tried curling it in, but I think now Hector Bellerin is, I don't know. You look at some of the things he does and think, why, how, what are you doing? And you kind of sit there and you think, do you lose your head over this, or do you think, you know what, this is what you're used to now? But I think Bellerin today wasn't outstanding. He wasn't. There were signs in his game today. He was poor. Some of the passes as well. It's simple things, man. You're a fucking professional footballer playing for Arsenal, right? And some of the things you do, you would see down at a Sunday League pitch. If there was Sunday League football on right now, I know things are a bit different, and everywhere's kind of locked down and that. But if there was Sunday League football right now, you would see players making those same mistakes that Bellerin will make. The only difference is one's on a football pitch that's looking like a farm, and one's playing professional level football for Arsenal in the Premier League, right? And I think Bellerin today, he was fair play to him. He's put his boots on the right feet. And that was probably one of the toughest challenges. And, I think in terms of him on the pitch today, there was times it looked like he walked down the tunnel quicker, when the game was finished, compared to when he's trying to track back a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
It's really to be fair, he did remain behind to talk to Martinez. To be fair,
I want to see Bellerin come out and do an interview after today. I want him to come out and say that we want to win too much. We've just lost twice in a week. So come out and do an interview now, Bellerin. I want him to come out and do an interview and explain to me why we lost today's game.
Sanchez wanted too much, but then how is that kind of player a captain of our football club? It's just baffling.
Bellerin, every time we win, he comes out as the captain, all parading as like he's just won us the game. Whenever we lose, he runs off and hides. Like, come out and explain to me why you're the captain. Why did we lose today? And as well, I'll say one more thing about Bellerin. We should swap him with Bora and Woods right back. Give him to Bora and Wood. We'll take theirs because I'm sure theirs is better than ours. Like, we own that club, right? So why not just do a quick swap deal?
I can just say that is Bellerin's reaction to what you had to say. For the midfield, I'm going to give you guys one each. Matt, I'm going to give you Xhaka.
Xhaka today, to be fair to him, right? One thing I've noticed in Xhaka's game recently, and I saw it again today, was his passing going forward. We've always moaned about Xhaka going sideways and backwards and all this, but he's actually starting to pick out a couple of good passes now. We saw it. I want to say it was the game against Newcastle. I want to say who was it he set up? He set someone. He played a nice pass in. It was either Newcastle or Southampton. He got an assist for someone. It was Southampton, I think it was, and he played it into Pepe. Southampton away in the league, and it's little things like this that are positives from Xhaka's game right now. We saw a few moments of that today. It wasn't awful, let's just go in the middle, give him a 5.
And even that Newcastle game, he did
the FA Cup. Yeah, it was the FA Cup passing to a Tierney, and then he crossed it into a Aubameyang with the tap in.
Yeah.
That was.
I can see. Go ahead.
I think it was the Southampton game in the league when we played the ball into Pepe. Pepe
Yeah.
finds the back of the net. It's the little passes like this now from Granit Xhaka that's starting to go forward, and I think that comes with the safety net of having Thomas Partey there as well. They're two midfielders that have the ability to pass forward, which I think is definitely something you'll see us build on in the future. And, you know, it's in a game where there's not many positives to take and you don't want to be delusional about it. I think there's little things like that. You're still seeing Xhaka trying to progress play going forward, and that's a positive sign in terms of his game instead of just going sideways and backwards and all of that boring stuff. You know, his passes going forward. We saw some of those today. You know, he picked out a few, you know, nice passes, but there is only a certain level that, you know, you can kind of accept. But
there's midfielders like Ward-Prowse, who I just saw banging in another free kick right now, but we'll talk about that another time. WSL Partey.
I'm gonna just give him a 4. I think he was again worse than Xhaka.
The injuries are concerning me.
The third performance in a row where he's been worse than Granit Xhaka. That's not too good, is it? I think Partey's fallen under the trap that so many of our players have fallen under, where he's playing with so many like awful footballers. He's beginning to get bad as well. Like, I think Gabriel's another one of those. He's been playing with the likes of Bellerin, Holding, and like, you know, these rubbish players, and he's beginning to get worse as well. And I think Partey is doing the exact same thing. He's probably, I don't think he's injured. I think that was I just want to get off this pitch because I can't be bothered anymore. I feel bad for the guy. This man has just left Atletico Madrid, who are now top of the league by, like, I don't even know how many points it is by now, but they're absolutely bossing their league. And he was going to be the main man for that team. Simeone wanted to build the team around Partey. He left, and he could be 13th by the end of the weekend. He's probably sat there crying to his agent if he can get him back. Like, it's so sad to see such a world-class footballer go from the likes of Atletico to here. Exactly.
Right now.
Well, yeah, Simeone will be laughing at him. He'll be probably ringing him up tonight saying, oh, you shouldn't have left. That's your fault. You know, laughing in his face. Like, it's sad, but I'll say this about Partey. I don't think he needs better players around him. I want to see him next to Matteo Guendouzi. I see a lot of people saying we need to get rid of Guendouzi. I'm sorry. I watched Hertha Berlin versus Bayern Munich last night because I watched a lot of Bundesliga. Hertha were awful in the first half. They brought on Guendouzi and oh my God, their game changed drastically. He got on the pitch. He started working. He was defending excellently. He saw that Bayern Munich were playing too far forward. He was exposing them. He played an amazing pass straight over the top of the whole Bayern Munich defense. But then the Hertha striker missed it. He had a chance where he ran down the wing, had a shot on target. He defended really well. He was ferocious. Like, he was getting in the face of the referee and the Bayern players and getting like involved. We need that at Arsenal Football Club. Yet there's fans that are sat there saying he has an attitude problem. No, he doesn't. His attitude is he wants to win games and win trophies.
I actually didn't have a problem with him. I know Matt made a whole video about Guendouzi.
All he wants to do is win. That's it. He wants to win games, win trophies. He doesn't care what football club he's at as long as he's winning stuff. And he wasn't winning at Arsenal. That's why he got frustrated. If you don't like Guendouzi because he has an attitude problem, then you can go with Hector Bellerin because he wants to win too much, apparently. Guendouzi is another one of those who wants to win too much. And I think it will be his downfall at Arsenal Football Club because we ain't going to win anything. But we need to play
respect for our captain.
But yeah, I'll give Partey a 4. If Xhaka gets a 5, Partey a 4. But again, I hope he isn't injured, but I don't see it being an injury.
It's really worrying me, the injuries. HJ Smith-Rowe.
Smith-Rowe again. He looks tired. He needs a rest. And yes, obviously now we're not playing in the FA Cup very sadly, so we have a week off because we play Leeds next Saturday or something before we go into the Europa League. But with Smith-Rowe, again, he didn't look at the paces today. I thought when Ødegaard came on next to him, he looked much better. And also quickly on Partey, I thought he looked better than Xhaka today. But sticking on Smith-Rowe, not good enough that much. You know, he had that one chance, but Tyrone Mings, who who was man of the match given by BT, he did really well. So yeah, he needs a break, Smith-Rowe, and I think for this game I'll probably give him a 4.
Okay, WSL Saka.
When I can't remember which whether it was Matt or HJ that said about Bellerin how Grealish didn't really get into him too much. That was because of Bukayo Saka. End of. There was a few times in the first half where I saw Saka having to track back, defend Grealish, and then Bellerin comes out of nowhere, and you're like, where were you then? Why is Saka the one defending against Jack Grealish? Where were you? Saka is a wonderful footballer. He's diverse. He can play defensively and attackingly. And that's why today Jack Grealish was quite silent, because Saka was putting in tackles. He was stopping Grealish from doing the runs, all that good stuff. Going forward, though, he was awful. Let's be honest. But I think it was a matter of Aston Villa were very, very good defensively, and they also locked him off. Targay was awesome. Cash was amazing. Tyrone Mings was really good. Konza was good. It wasn't a red card. End of story. There was a few chances where he could have got a bit further forward, but he didn't. I'll give him a 6 because, again, defensively, he was amazing. Like, he was really good. And I think it was only 1-0, and I think that's down to him and Matt Ryan. Because, again, if Jack Grealish was able to make some more of those runs that Saka stopped, we don't even know what could have happened. But I'll give him a 6 because defensively, he was really good.
Matt, Saka?
Saka today, I think, he's looking lively. We've got a young player on our hands who has potential. I think you could label him the star boy at Arsenal. Young player, bags and bags of potential, and he's delivering at this level right now as well. Saka today, he had a few chances. There was a few times he tried running in behind and he tried getting things going. And I think for that, you're going to give him, I would say a 6 is probably fair, because I would say, you've got to give credit to a young player who tries to get things going, because that's not easy. The character strength that's going to take, both physical and mental strength playing for Arsenal, trying to get these players, who's got experience, who have experience, and it's Saka trying to get everyone, sort of, come on lads, let's pick our heads up, let's push forward. And you can see him, he tries creating things, and, he was, being fouled quite a lot in today's game, to be fair. Every single challenge was getting the better of him. There was one I remember when Grealish, I think, just, shoved him in the back, and,
twice.
That was a friendly tackle. Hopefully, that was a
So I think
between friends.
To sort of have a bit of banter on social media and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe Saka can be a little agent for Arsenal and try and
maybe Grealish could be an agent for Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
But I think it's fair to give Saka a 6 today. I think he was playing well. I think as I said, the character that Saka has, and the mental and physical strength of him at such a young age as well. He's going to be a star player. Goes without saying.
Okay, HJ. To be fair, Saka is the only player that whenever he has the ball, you feel like something is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. But I think, as I said earlier, Target was really good to stop him going forward. I thought Target really stopped him going forward. But I think the fact that Bellerin didn't get exposed as much as we all thought he would was because Saka was trailing back, doing the defensive work. And obviously, I thought, did Grealish get a yellow card in the end because he's putting a lot of fouls on Saka?
I think he did, yeah.
He might have, but Saka again, he was getting targeted by a lot of their players, taking turns, as WSL mentioned earlier in the stream. But for Saka today, a lot of the things he did going forward, because obviously he's a forward player, so you have to base him on that. And we didn't score any goals today. He didn't really create a lot today either, so you have to just say a 5 today.
Okay, 5. Then I'll give you the next one first. HJ, Pepe. The thing I'd say with Pepe, I've seen some people slagging him off, and then there's some replies saying he's been playing well in the last 3 games. Why are you judging him in the 4th game? The thing I'd say with that, why do you think he's become so good after 3 games? Because I wouldn't even have started him, to be fair to you guys. I'll tell you, HJ, what did you give Pepe?
With Pepe, he didn't play that well today, to be honest. Last 3 games, as we all know,
that's the Pepe I know.
Well. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I still really like the player because I know what he can do. But again, when you're getting into consistency, when you're playing consistent games for Arsenal, you might have an odd game in the patch. But I think Arteta should stick with him, keep playing him, see what he can offer us, because I want to see him play 10, 15, 20 games straight, and then I'll judge him properly. But for today's performance, because that's what we're rating it on, I will have to give him a 4. He had 1 or 2 chances that he didn't put in the corner, and a few crosses that went a bit wayward, a few things like that. Pepe didn't do so great on, and I'll have to give him a 4 today.
So WSL, I would have started in my lineup. I know Aubameyang didn't play well, but I'd put Aubameyang and Odegaard instead of Smith Rowe and Pepe. I want to ask you an honest question. In the final third, when Aubameyang has the ball and when Pepe has the ball, who do you feel more confident when they have the ball? whether they've been playing poorly, the both of them, which one would you feel more confident with the ball in the final third?
Pepe.
Why?
Aubameyang just is not good enough in terms of dribbling. When it comes to the final, like the last touch pass, as in like on a shot, like if the pass comes in and you're going to shoot, Aubameyang. But Aubameyang ain't a dribbler. Aubameyang doesn't work the ball forward. I thought the Aubameyang substitution was the dumbest thing Arteta could have done, except playing Willian, because Aubameyang needs service. We know this. That's our excuse for Aubameyang, that he doesn't get enough service. So you're going to put him in a game where we aren't getting any service because we can't break down the Villa defence. It made no sense. Martinelli was the better substitution for me. But Pepe today, I thought he was all right. I think, again, Matty Cash, I thought he was the man of the match. I thought he was better than Tyrone Mings. I thought Matty Cash was so good. Even when Willian, I mean, I know it's Willian, but when Willian and Saka went down the left side, Matty Cash was just pushing him off the ball. He was winning the ball every single time. But I thought Pepe did all right with him. I think he had a shot that Martinez saved, which was a really good shot.
And a couple more off target as per usual.
A few, but I mean, look, he's the only one that's really scored previously. I don't think you can drop a guy who's scored. I think as well, dropping him for Aubameyang, you might as well sell him then. If you're not even going to give the guy a few more games, if you're not going to give him like 10, 15 games, as HJ said, there's no point of playing him. He's £72 million, and right now we aren't getting money off of him. But if he's going to score goals and win us games like he has done recently, obviously not the Wolves game because of the stupid refereeing decisions, then he'll start earning his money back. But then dropping him because of one decent, I'll even say he was decent today. So one decent performance against Villa. If he gets dropped, I'm going to be angry because, as you said, Aubameyang came on, he did nothing.
HJ just said that he wasn't confident after Arteta won a few games. I was also not confident when Pepe performed well in 2 games. I'm also not changing my thoughts on him that he's suddenly become the Pepe that we bought and start him every single game. He's not proved it.
He's scored 2 goals in the last three games? Is it 2 goals in the last 3 games?
That's fine. Aubameyang did score 2 goals in the last Emirates game he played.
I'll say is this: Pepe's played less games in the Premier League and he scored 1 less goal than Aubameyang. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for Aubameyang. Aubameyang has not been good enough this season, whereas Pepe, he's been playing all right. I think if Pepe keeps as well, you got to remember, Aubameyang's old. Pepe isn't. Pepe is the future of Arsenal Football Club in terms of age. Aubameyang isn't. If you're going to not play Pepe for a 31-year-old Aubameyang who's not scoring any goals, then you might as well just not bother. Like, you might as well just accept that the club's not going to go anywhere in the future. I think Aubameyang. We'll get into his rating later, but right for Pepe, I'll give him probably a 5. I think that shot against Martinez, it was unlucky not to go in. I think it was a good save, so 5. He was all right.
Matt, what did you give Pepe, and which one would you start in the next game, Aubameyang or Pepe?
I think it's a conversation that people are going to be having, whether it's going to be Alba or whether it's going to be Pepe. But I think Pepe today, there was a few moments where you thought, okay, is he going to do something? Is he not going to do something? But I'd say just a simple 5. He's there, participated in the front 3. And there's I think with Pepe, you need to look at the bigger picture. Like you say, what, £75 million, £72.5 million, whatever the fee was. You're not really getting your return on that at the moment. He does need a run of games. But again, it's simple man management, because now, okay, he's just had a few good games and he's got himself on the score sheet as well. But now the conversation is he going to be dropped? It's little things like that. And just off topic as well, just real quick, the conversation of William Saliba. Is he good enough for Arsenal and this, that, the other? He's just won Player of the Month over in France for Nice with 44% of their votes.
You're already going through too much pain, Matt, with Willock.
Saliba's been amazing for Nice as well. If you actually watch some of his performances, he's been.
It's just frustrating that he's gone over to France and he's making this impact. Yet there was all this conversation of
just like Guendouzi.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it goes down to man management. But Pepe today, give him a 5. He turned up.
So it looks like if we recall Guendouzi, as WSL says, and we recall Saliba and we recall Kolasinac, all of a sudden you're back in business again.
Might as well recall Kolasinac. Might as well.
WSL, Lacazette, another question. So do you start Lacazette or Aubameyang? because he's been subbed, I think, off in the last 2 games. Poor
This one
performances.
I'll give Aubameyang this one. I think Lacazette hasn't been good enough recently. But again, I'm not shocked. How many times did I say when he was scoring goals, you just wait until he starts performing badly again? This is Alexander Lacazette. He can perform amazing for a good few games, then he drops off to his usual self. This is why he needs to be sold. We need a striker who will consistently give us goals. And Lacazette is not one of those strikers. And I don't think Aubameyang has been this season, but we know he is consistently good when he's on form. So I'm starting Aubameyang. I'm not even playing Lacazette ever again this season. End of. He can sit on the bench for the rest of the season and come on every now and then. He ain't good enough for Arsenal Football Club. He never has been. He never will be. We sell him off for £30 million in the summer, £20 million, whatever we get for him. Put that down as a deposit for Jack Grealish or a new striker. The saddest thing for Lacazette for me is last summer, Atletico Madrid were offering £50 million for Lacazette. We turned it down. We'd be lucky to get half of that right now. So again, Arsenal Football Club do this stupid dealing where we refuse to sell players for stupid money, and then they go and cut their value in half because they just aren't good enough. But yeah, he can get. I'll give him a 3 because he has a nice head. I guess his bald head's quite nice, and yeah, I mean, what else can you say about Lacazette? Like
swaggy in his Instagram videos and stuff. So, Matt, what did you give Lacazette?
But yeah, 3.
I'd agree. Lacazette 3 today.
Okay, so I want HJ, I want to give you since you didn't hear about Aubameyang from you. What did you give Aubameyang?
Aubameyang from me, he wasn't good enough. He didn't get on the ball that often. We didn't see what we wanted to see from Aubameyang. Just wasn't good enough. And again, yes, obviously he's got things going on off the pitch, and yeah, I do agree with that. But you're a top striker for us, and you need to start producing, because at the moment we're going through another slump, and we need someone like him to pick ourselves up, because someone like Lacazette, as WSO said, isn't consistent enough, and is someone I would sell in the summer and not let his contract run down, because he has a year left in the summer. I think we'll probably get max 20 million for someone like Lacazette. Aubameyang, I'm not going to tap out on him because I know what he can do. And yeah, today wasn't good enough. I'll probably have to give him a 3.
3, okay. So WSL Odegaard, they're positive.
I thought he was excellent when he came on. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's not good enough. He's like only decent. We need better." Come on, man. Seriously, he was really good when he came on. He looked really bright. He brought a bit of a spark. Someone, I think it was Ray, said that we didn't have a cutting edge. I thought when he come on, he kind of brought a little bit of that. I don't want him to play next to Smith Rowe, but Smith Rowe looked better when he came on. We looked a bit more like we had a bit more sense of urgency. I think when he came on, I think we realised, wait, we are actually 1-0 down here. It's the 70th minute. We kind of need to score. We need to score a goal. And I think the shot that went over the bar, people are going to hate him for it, but come on, like he missed one chance. How many chances has Lacazette missed, and Holding missed, and Aubameyang missed, and even Pepe? How many chances have they missed? Like, give the guy some slack. It's his first game. I'd even say that's his first proper, not game, but bit of play in the Premier League. Because United game, he got 10 minutes, and he didn't even play against Wolves. So he looks
and
good.
Even against that United team, he was very good in those 10 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. I'd start him. I think he's earned his start from that 30, 20 minutes alone. He's earned his start. He brought a lot of urgency, brought a lot of pace. I think he looked quite fast, like he wanted to get into it. And I'll say this, he looks a lot better than Denis Suarez did. So it must be quite positive. But I'll give him a 5 because he didn't obviously do much special, but he was all right. So 5.
Things are really not going well when we're hearing names like Mustafi, Kolasinac, Willock, Suarez in the stream. Matt, would you start Odegaard next time?
I think Martin Odegaard, I wouldn't start him just yet. I think there's still a bit of adapting to be done. And I think you can see that in his performance, especially today. But there was positive signs. He's picking a few nice passes, playing the ball forward, and it's that creative spark that we haven't had for a while. And I think Odegaard is going to implement that into this Arsenal side. So I reckon you'll see him starting consistently for Arsenal and being a first name on the team sheet, I reckon, towards the end of this month, going into March. Yeah. Because you've also got to think there's fitness levels, that he needs to reach. There's adapting to the Premier League as well that needs to be done. And again, it's man management. Putting him into the side, bedding him in. So I think, yeah, give it maybe by the end of this month, going into March, I reckon he'll then be a first name on the team sheet as long as his performances are up to scratch. But I think, yeah, there was
What did you
positive
give
signs.
him? What did you give him for today?
He warrants a 5, I reckon.
5. HJ, more than that?
I thought Odegaard was really good. He was, again, I said this earlier, he's one of the players that actually tried showing some cutting edge, actually tried making something happen. And I think from this game, it shows me that he has what it takes to do it good in the Premier League. He reminds me with the way he was playing someone like Bruno. He reminded me of Bruno because he adapted to the physicality quite well because that was the main consensus that, he wouldn't be able to adapt. But I thought he did. He was all around the place, on the left, in the middle, on the right. He was trying to make things happen. Unlucky he couldn't get that goal. He just, powered it over. But again, it's going to take 1 or 2 bits of adapting. But again, I think with him and Smith Rowe maybe in the same team, maybe each other fighting for their spot, it could make both of them a better player. And yeah, I think Martin Odegaard, I'll probably start him in the Leeds game, in a game that's going to be very fast-paced. And then moving into the Europa League, someone like Odegaard is going to be very helpful for us. So for today, I'll give him a 7.
In that game now, that is the kind of game you wouldn't put someone like Ozil. Leeds have runners. Those Klitsch and Phillips and Harrison in the wings, Rafinha, they will outrun us. We have to start all our fast players in that game. So, Matt, you're on for the next one, the last player. You say you wouldn't start Odegaard. Is it because we have the quality of the Brazilian himself, Willian? Would you start Willian in that position? Willian, you said you wouldn't start Odegaard. So, Willian, the experience of Willian. HJ asked earlier on why he brought him experience.
Mate, the Willian, man, I don't even want to lose my head here, but
I'm not even going to bring up his name. I'm just going to have the picture there. It's not what
I don't understand, right? I don't understand how, right? Willian, at his time at Chelsea, I thought, you know what, Willian is a good player. He's shown that he's good consistently. At times when Eden Hazard was stealing the spotlight at Chelsea, I thought, you know what, in terms of consistently performing well, Willian was probably next best after Hazard, right?
Yeah.
And I stupidly said that in videos last summer when we were linked with him for a free transfer. And what a fucking mistake this has been, getting this man on a free, right?
Oh my
Mate,
goodness.
I don't understand, right, how we can be sitting here thinking to ourselves, you know what, this player is coming for free, right? A Premier League, right? If you forget Willian, right? Forget the face, forget the name, right? You're being offered a Premier League proven player who's been here for many of years, right? He's delivered at a high performing level. He's won Premier League titles, and your club can have him for free, right? You're going to take that any day of the week. And then Willian appears, and the body language appears, and the poor performances appear as well, and the stats that are just unacceptable appear as well. I don't understand how he's still playing for us, to be honest with you. And I think today, he comes on, and the one thing that stood out to me, there was a few moments where people were talking how Willian's come on as a sub. If you're coming on as a sub, get your sweat going. Make the runs, put in a bit of effort. Today, he went down, he got fouled, decision didn't go his way, and instead he just lies on the floor, flapping his arms around as if he's some form of pigeon trying to fly away or something, right? It's unacceptable, mate, and I can't be done with it. I can't be done with Willian, man. I don't understand how he's still even getting minutes. I don't even know, it's embarrassing. And here we are, we've got ourselves in another sticky situation as an Arsenal fan.
We've been through that.
Calamitous.
We've been through that. What did you give him for his appearance?
Mate, I don't even want to rate him. I don't rate him as a player anymore, to be honest with you. And I think, he doesn't pull his weight for Arsenal. He didn't pull his weight today. Give him a 1 just for turning up. Well done. Well done.
Willian brought him in, has more experience than Martinelli. What did you make of his performance?
I'm not even going to really talk about his performance. I'm just going to give him a rating, just minus numbers. I'm sick of him, and that's minus numbers. You can just go back to any of the other match reactions, skip to the bit where Willian's there, listen to what I said, and it applies for every single match, but you can get a minus number.
Not even worse for today, because I felt like it was a bit even more worse. Because of the way he laid down on the floor, the way Matt says.
You can say that Cedric played worse and he was at fault for the goal, but the point of a substitute is to come on and make a difference. Willian makes the team worse. If you come on and make the team worse, then you get minus numbers. That's you've made the team worse, so he gets a minus number. He gets a -1, -10, whatever.
HJ, Matt says stats are terrible, but you know what? Willian is actually our top
I
assister
thought
this
Willian
season.
was exceptional today. He was running at players. 10 out of 10 performance to me. Willian was
He
brilliant.
did
He was
run
running at
a
them
couple of
players,
times on the
winning
left.
fouls.
Yeah,
He could have scored a hat trick today. He was exceptional.
Yeah.
He was exceptional.
Yeah.
he did.
Oh,
He
no,
actually did.
seriously,
He did very well. I actually thought he was terrible.
Zero.
He was absolutely terrible. There is lying on the floor, but he has reading that he has the most assists for Arsenal this season. We are in February. Willian,
Does he
the most
actually?
assists for Arsenal.
Proves how many goals we scored, doesn't it? It proves how many
He
goals
actually
we scored.
does. He actually has the most assists this season for us.
I remember
Gabriel
our
header
fan
against
Fulham game.
Wolves. Yeah, twice.
Oh,
He also assisted Gabriel's head against Wolves at home. A couple of assists, 4 or 5 there. So it is very, very shocking. So maybe Matt, if you give him more time, he'll prove himself.
May as well just
WSL.
Thanks very much.
Just give Martinelli the time.
WSL HJ, I think it's your mic. WSL Arteta.
Oh man, like I don't want to put too much on him because I don't think he was, but it wasn't. He picked the starting lineup that we all wanted. If let's be honest, I wanted Odegaard, but I'm not complaining. Smith Rowe's playing. Let's be honest. Like I'm not complaining. Like he's still a great player. But it's the substitutions. It's the tactical analysis. It's the strategies. It's not good enough. The substitutions, all 3 of them, except the Odegaard. Well, okay, the 2 of them, Aubameyang and Willian, absolutely awful. I didn't think Aubameyang would change the game because he's not the kind of player that's going to come on, create play. He needs the play to be created for him. We weren't doing that. Martinelli was the option for me. I'd have then brought on Odegaard, which is what he did. And then after Martinelli came on and maybe made a difference, then you bring Aubameyang on. But he decided not to bring Martinelli on at all, bring Willian on later on, and bring Aubameyang on straight away. It was stupid. He basically, I think, got scared. He was a bit like, he didn't know what to do. He said, right, Aubameyang, screw it. Willian, how does this guy even get on the bench? He's not even good enough to play for our under-23s. I don't know if you've seen the free kick goal Reece Nelson scored on the under-23s. I'd like to see Willian do that in the under-23s. What's Willian like? Willian ain't doing that. Like,
I think Cottrell could enter ahead of him. I think Aziz could enter ahead of him.
Yeah, like
Nelson.
Amari Hutchinson is like 17 years old. He's better than Willian, and he's 31. Like, it's pathetic. It's just pathetic. The thing that annoys me most about Willian is he has the audacity to wear Chelsea shin pads under his Arsenal Football Club socks.
We find ourselves back into the Willian story again.
I hate Willian.
Let's just leave it.
Yeah, I can't even. This is what I'm saying, but yeah. So Arteta, the substitutions awful, tactical analysis awful. He's smiling and laughing at 1-0 down at 89 minutes, like pathetic. He makes Bellerin captain, pathetic. The man management never gets any better. How can you go from the best half of football I've seen under Mikel Arteta against Wolves to one of the worst performances I've ever seen him do because it was just dry, boring football? I don't get it. This guy, I said this a while ago. I said, I think it was a Wolves match reaction. I said, if Arteta loses today, which is what he did, he needs to go because it's only going to get worse and worse. We're going to lose against Leeds. We're going to lose against City. We're going to lose against Benfica. We're going to lose against Leicester. We're going to be out the Europa League and we're going to be like 15th again. He's not good enough. He's not a good enough manager. He's too inexperienced. He needs to, for me, today was a chance for him to show me that he's actually learning on the job. Can he keep the players' heads up and not let them drop? If he can, it shows to me he's learned. The players' heads dropped again. We conceded in a minute and we lost the game. So for me, he's not learning and he's not good enough. But I'll give him a 2 because the lineup was good enough. Again, the lineup was good enough to win, but it didn't win. So 2.
Okay, Matt, where do you stand on Arteta?
I think Arteta is, there's a lot of work to be done on and off the pitch. And I think today's rating, to put it straight, I'd give him a 2, to be honest, because there's a lot of things that need doing. And today wasn't great, at all. The mentality wasn't there as everything. So we'll have to take that sort of from there. So I'd say 4-2 for today. It would be a 2. but I'm gonna have to make a move now anyway because I need to
No
go
problem.
start decorating a bathroom. So
This is the last one. Yeah, I think that is a better thing to do. I think that is a better thing to do than because even for me right now, let me find a good meme to put on screen. Who's your man of the match? For us, if we are Danny?
No idea, mate. To be honest,
No idea. But
Give it
thank you for
to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
I'm just like you, just like that cat on screen. I'm just tired. I can't blame you. Go do your bathroom. It's better for now. Thank you, man, for coming on.
No worries, man. Good talking to you all anyway, and I'll catch up with you all soon.
Yeah, see you in a bit,
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
HJ Ateta.
What can you say? He's just incompetent, overrated, overhyped. Everyone, this club have driven the PR to make it look like we've turned such a corner. We're still 10th, we could be 13th. We're so far off our expectations, and we all think we've turned a corner. Glenn, we literally gave up the FA Cup to win, what, 4 points out of 12, is it now, or something like that? We dropped the FA Cup for that? Come on. And it's this manager who's done it because he threw out a rubbish lineup which started Willian for 4 points out of 12 games. Please. I would have stayed in that FA Cup and got 0 out of them 12 games. Like, come on. But it's just disappointing. This manager it's so predictable. And if I'm predicting it, the other managers are as well. Make substitutions when it's needed, not after 60, 70 minutes like Wenger did. I'm pretty sure Wenger would do better with these players at the moment. Emery would have us in a title charge with these players. I'm adamant. And he gets so much time. He's been.
Let me ask you.
Decisions. What can you do with? What can you do?
If you're given the chance to bring Mourinho today, would you bring him or would you stay with that?
Mourinho right now.
Okay. What rating would you give him for today?
Give him a 2.
Okay, so WSL already said Ryan, who is the man of the match?
Yeah.
Because the WSL said Ryan.
Yeah. Is he there?
Yeah, man of the match.
Oh, Matty Ryan definitely, because I think he kept in the game from being at 4-5, and I think if it was Renarsson, then would have been 4-5. Then went 4-5. So Matty Ryan, I thought was really good today. Made some good saves, distribution all good, and I think the fact that he conceded and didn't even touch the ball, it would have hurt his confidence, and the fact that he stepped up from that was very good. And man of the match.
Yeah, Omar is a Teta out. It says out of his depth. The Villa fan is laughing at Mourinho. He clearly doesn't think your answer was correct. HJ. Ryan, man of the match. AJS is throwing a shot at you. HJ says because he's doing a great job at Tottenham, huh?
He's doing a better job than Arteta is. He's doing a better job than Arteta.
I'll say this about Mourinho. You'd bin Xhaka out the team. You'd bin Bellerin out the team. Yeah. And you'd actually play some players that would give him his all. Yeah,
Willian,
I know.
Willian would be like
Mourinho is very capable of coming in and throwing out Saka too. Like the way
something
he did
else.
the likes
Willian,
of Hazard and
Mourinho would probably win us the Europa League right now.
Yeah.
I do think Arteta will win it. Maybe that's why we threw away the FA Cup. HJ. So thank you again for coming on. The only thing I can say, WSL, the only good thing, is it a good thing or a bad thing? We don't have to deal with Arsenal for the next 8 days.
I mean, I get to watch the women's game tomorrow against City. Don't know if they're going to win that because City women are pretty good, but hopefully they win and cheer us up a bit. But
I think it's better. It's better to watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's better. But thank you again for coming on. Thank you for all the ratings in the chat. My man of the match, I agree with them, Matthew Ryan. Definitely, Odegaard was very good coming on. I think he should have at least shot on target though. So it's again another defeat, as HJ says. It's from the last 3 games, it's 1 point. So very, very downing. Now the thing I'd say is the United one was okay because we didn't have our players. The Wolves one, we understood it, but today, definitely not. So thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.